Hey, my friends, I'm Drake White. Thank you so much to Cody, Allen, and CMT for having me to answer your Ask Anything questions today. Let's get started. Ricky from Little Rock, what do you make sure you have in your dressing room at each show? Well, Ricky, we definitely have a box of Champa incense at every show because it's very important to me the way it smells at our show, and a handle of vodka or whiskey, Tito's vodka or Jack Daniels, depending on what season it is. Allison from Arlington, how do you come up with the name Spark? I've always been infatuated with sitting around a fire and watching it, seeing it come to life, and I learned how to create and entertain people around a fire. So this is my first album. It was my first release. And the first thing that happens chemically when a fire is started is the initial spark. Savannah from Winnipeg, Savannah from Winnipeg asks, did you design the spark cover? There was multiple people that helped me with the cover, but I chose the pictures and put them in a kind of a collage, if you will. And then the artist with my label and some very actual special artists came in and helped bring it to life. Marissa from West Palm, how many instruments do you play and how do you warm up your voice before your shows? I play guitar and ukulele and, mandolin every now and then, but I would say my main instrument is a guitar. I warm up my voice before shows. It's very important to me because I push really hard when I sing. And luckily, stage right guitar player, fiddle player, Mr. Johnny Molasses, he has a vocal degree from Berkeley. So he knows a lot of different warm-up, techniques to keep my voice in tip-top shape and healthy. Patty from North Bay, do you get to keep that hat from the album cover? What kind of hat was it? Yeah, that's my own personal hat. On the album cover, it's called an Akubra. It's an Australian-made. I don't really call them fedoras, and I don't call them cowboy hats. They're kind of just a Appalachian chic type of deal that I started wearing. Tammy from Toledo, do you have a nickname? If you don't, what nickname would you give yourself? My uncle used to call me Duck because Drake is a male mallard. So that never really stuck, but a lot of people used to call, just because of my energy and all that kind, they called me Spark. They called me like lightning, like, stuff that symbolized a lot of energy because I've always had a lot of energy. Michael from Birmingham, my home state. I went to Auburn also. Wanted to tell you how much I enjoyed your music. Nice. Thank you, Michael. Tracy's from Tacoma. What was it like when you were at Joshua Tree State Park? It was magic. Joshua Tree is one of those places that if you've never been, I highly encourage you to go. Our nation is very unique in my world travels. I've found that every nation does not have the freedom, obviously, that we have as in the U.S., but Theodore Roosevelt truly had a great vision in mind when he put our nation's parks in fruition. It's a beautiful place. It's spiritual, and you know what Graham Parsons is talking about and why he wanted his ashes to be spread out there when you get there. Rosanna from Wilkes Barre, what's the sappiest love song that you sing when nobody's around? It's Your Love. Definitely. That's probably it. Erica from Cleveland, do you go out for Halloween? Favorite Halloween candy? Yes, if I am home and available, I definitely go out for Halloween. And my favorite Halloween candy is Laffy Taffies. Trina from Grand Rapids, where is home for you? Will you be able to spend Thanksgiving with your family? Well, I call north of Nashville home now because that's where I live and where I've created my little heaven. But home will always be Northeast Alabama in my hometown of Hoax Bluff. My family still lives there, my aunts, my uncles, and everybody. And absolutely, I will be back for Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's one of the greatest things to live 3 hours south of Nashville. So you can definitely go down there in just one quick little road trip. Sherry from Rockingham asks, do you remember the day you quit your day job to pursue music? How did you feel that day? Absolutely. To bring it into a little bit more realistic, I actually got let go from my construction job because of the happenings of 2008. I was planning on stopping anyway. I was planning on quitting, but I got kind of forced into really focusing on music when they made those cuts. So I felt free. I felt like I was finally on the path that, I was meant to be on. Steph from Joplin. Do the kids you grew up with keep in touch? Absolutely. I've got guys that I played football with in high school and friends that I went to high school with that I talk to weekly. Jim from St. Louis. How's it being? How's it like being on Dirk's tour? Dirk's is one of the most friendliest, most hospitable men I've ever been around, and that's saying a lot because I've been around a lot of hospitable guys, but Dirk's wants you to feel at home, and everybody that comes in feels that way. They call it Dirk's University because that's how you're supposed to treat people. He is definitely an advocate of the golden rule because he treats others at a very, very high level of respect. Nancy from Portland. I'm going to Castaway with Southern Ground in January. What can we expect, big boy? Well, you can expect a lot of relaxing from me, a lot of great music. I can't wait to see. I mean, Zach has a knack for putting a great lineup together. And I know for a fact the atmosphere is going to spawn great collaborations and great sets. The beach always makes me feel it always makes me feel calm. It always makes me feel at ease. So to be out there and be barefoot and me be bouncing around and just, a lot of good drinks, margaritas, and a break from the cold weather. Melissa from Saginaw asks, what do you love about your tour bus? If you could pimp it out, what would you add on to it? I love the fact that we have a tour bus. A. B, I like the bunks. To be able to sleep and get rest is something that I appreciate very much. I grew up in a van, crossing the country all across the world with a van, and sleep's a little bit easier on the bus. If I could do one thing to my bus, I would have a studio in the back lounge. I'll definitely incorporate that one day because we love to work. You're very inspired when you're on the road because you meet all these people, you see all these things, and your band's with you. So you have everybody there already. So you can literally just pop up in the back lounge and hit the record button. Colleen from Nashville. Back to Free is my favorite song. Tell me about writing that one. Oh, it's one of my favorites too. Big Phil is my bass player. Him and Randy Montana wrote that song with me. And we saw a picture that is pictured on my album cover of Phil's little boy with a Superman cape on and a Mohawk helmet on. And he had just learned how to ride his bicycle. And through him learning how to ride that bicycle, we watched him grow into this euphoric little boy. And we just got to thinking about the way we felt when we were 6, 7, 8 years old. And that was a truly back to free moment when you were 6 or 7 and learned how to ride that bicycle. So we kind of went off that, and one thing led to another, and Back to Free was born. Michelle from Dallas, what's your wife's favorite song on Spark? My wife's favorite song on Spark by far is Making Me Look Good Again because it's about her. Keep going.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead and close.
I can't thank Cody, Allen, and CMT enough for having me today. That was a blast. Thanks to the fans for taking the time to send these questions so we could do this.